Russell, how are you doing today?
Good mate, how are you?
Really, really good. Such a pleasure to talk to you. So,
Cheers, man.
considering the movie that we're talking about, this seems like an obvious one. What is Russell Crowe's favorite scary movie of all time?
Well, I'm not a fan of scary movies, to be completely truthful with you. I saw The Exorcist in a theatre in Auckland, New Zealand when I was 14, way after its original release. It probably was on for the fourth or fifth time. One of the ushers in the theatre halfway through the movie thought it was a really funny idea to bang the roof of the cinema with a broom. I don't think any of us in the audience agreed with him. So I don't have a habit of watching horror films. So I would have to put Exorcist in the number one slot.
Exorcist with roof banging
Well, I
as an
tend to,
option.
if in terms of horror films, I lean into films that have like a more of a psychological horror rather than a visceral visual. Yeah, so I'm not really an expert in the genre at all. I
That's
like
okay.
films like The Princess Bride.
Well, to some people, that is their horror. So, it takes all sorts. Uh, Considering that so much of this was filmed in Ireland, that we are calling from Ireland, was there any one particular? What did you get to do anything fun while you were here? Basically, did you
Oh,
outside of
absolutely, man.
fun work?
Yeah, well, I mean, the job was obviously, if you've seen the film, quite intense, and there was a lot of responsibility on me because I'm dealing with different languages and, long prayer sequences and stuff like that, so there's a lot to take in, a lot to learn. But, we had a great crew in Dublin, man, it was really cool, great bunch of really experienced people and people who like to enjoy their work. So, we had fun together and, it's a pretty spectacular city to work in when the sun's out. And I was living on the coast there, and I would ride my bicycle down to Bray. But we also shot in town. We shot at the town hall. We shot at Trinity College. We shot on the north side as well. We went down to Limerick and shot a few days down there. So my overall experience of Ireland in the summer was perfect. It was a great combination of catching up with old friends, doing some work that I was really compelled by, and meeting a whole lot of new people and having some new experiences. Obviously, I've been to Ireland a lot, but in my job, sometimes I come there for 2 days
Mm.
and do 30 conversations and then leave again. So I've only had few experiences where I've had spare time in Ireland, free time in Ireland, but gradually I'm getting around the place and seeing it all.
And it's lucky that you got an Irish summer because we only get one of those once every 10 years or so. So that
That's
looked
what
out.
they were saying, and I have to tell you that it was a point of great mirth to listen to a TV report saying that the next 4 days would be cresting 25 degrees. So we look out, we've got a heat wave coming. It's autumn down here, for example, and the other day it was 33 degrees. So I suppose, it depends on your experience.
Yeah, and what you're capable of just like enduring, I guess. One of my favorite things about whenever people are making movies about the supernatural, about potentially the religious aspect as well, is that someone on the set, being an actor or someone who's behind the scenes, will report something creepy having happened while they were making the movie. Like as far back as The Exorcist, as far back as Poltergeist, was there anything at all that happened while making this movie that you heard of, or maybe you experienced yourself, where it was like, oh, that was creepy?
There was one little moment, but I put it down to other things. We arrived back from being shooting down in Limerick to the place we were living in on the coast there outside of Dublin, and there was a dead bird in the doorway of the house that we were living in. But being an old bushy, I just sort of put two and two together and realized that there must be some creature around there who'd noticed that we weren't there and had proffered the dead bird as a welcome home gift. I think with a lot of these things, it really depends on what you're prepared to take in and whether or not you can remain objective and see these things and understand these things and still stop yourself from sliding into the rabbit hole of that thought process.
And one last one, because it's such a perfect opportunity, I guess, because some of this is based in and shot in Rome, and I'm calling from Ireland. So the Rome Irish angle is perfect. Do you have any advice you'd like to impart upon Paul Mescal as he takes on Gladiator 2, be it working in action in sand or working with Ridley Scott or anything like that.
I'm sure that young fella has had plenty of experience and knows he's dealing with one of the greatest film directors to ever work in the medium. So, I think the fact that he's Irish will give him a certain practical sense, no doubt that will be a gigantic physical production that will be surrounding him. And that can be a little intimidating, but I'm sure his sense of one foot in front of the other and base practicality will get him through. I think he'll do very well.
Perfect. Russell, thank you so much for your time today.
My faith does not require defense.